on this. So we'll see how many more episodes we can fit into here. So with that, let's get started. So first things first, we had to take this edge down closer to the water. You can't put any kind of piers or any kind of boats down that far. It was way too deep. So I just make a little edge across and around this coastline, and I actually bring it all the way up and around to the self-sufficient, and we actually make use of the whole river there and then come out by the ocean here. We do a little village on the top where we were going to put our oil, and yeah, so I had to terraform this all out and smooth it all out and get these roads to come in smooth. Next, we're going to go ahead and place some of the assets we get. So right off the start, you get 4 assets. The first one is the fishing harbor, then you get the fish farm, you get the fish market, and you get the fish factory. So here I'm just putting in the fish harbor. So I'm putting it down closer to the edge. That one you can pick up any kind of type of fish and get 100% on any type of fish. So whatever we have down there is what they're going to get. So we don't have to be specific with its route. So before I run the route for the fish harbor, I decide I'm just going to start putting in the roads. So this way I can get people to the harbor, because I mean, if you can't get anybody to the harbor, you can't have anybody running that stuff. So that's how I feel. So I'm just running the roads to get this all kind of just not permanent, but some kind of layout going. So this way I have some kind of form that I want to follow. So next I start running the route, and like I said before, it's just a simple little route. It'll pick up whatever is available, and we don't have to be too specific with this. So even though you don't need a specific fish, you do need to get this running 100%. So you know, you have to follow the boats, see where it lands, and either add to your route or delete from your route to kind of get it as perfect as you can, so it will be as efficient as possible. So one of the ways I like to do it is I like to delete or alter the end of the route, so I could pick up a ship that's closer to the part I changed, so I don't have to refollow it from the beginning. So next I want to fit in the fish market and the fish factory, and I want to kind of keep this down on this area down here, so this way the roads are clear for just the traffic for the So now we're going to jump in and start adding where we're going to put our little village. So I started to change this road over from the industrial road to a regular road, but I actually wanted to leave the space behind it and forward. I like the trees kind of outlining the back there, so I thought I'll have some commercial on that, and the rest will pretty much do as residential. So I also don't get too fancy in here. I use just the regular 2 lanes for the commercial, and then I actually go back in and use the gravel roads for the residential. I thought this was nicer as far as it's a little bit less developed than the other 2 neighborhoods, and that is because it's right there on the water. It was probably original, and they kept it that way. They liked it. It was small, and that's why they like having their own little space away from the other 2 residential areas. So next I just go ahead and put on a district, and I realized I still had the industrial paint on there, so I got rid of that. We don't need it, and this is kind of its own neighborhood by itself. Like I was saying before, this was the original one. I think they started to clear some trees, add a little bit of fishing down in here, and that's when they decided to maybe expand on that, and so this was the original part. So here it is with the gravel roads. I kind of get a little unique. It's not a very big space. Like I said, it's just enough for just a little village with some commercial. So next I just add a couple of schools, some medical, fire, police. I know we have the big stuff in the middle. It just doesn't seem to carry through with coverage really good. So I just wanted to add some to make sure everybody was covered. And I do add some parks and plazas. Again, I had to keep that on the small side. It's not a very big space. So next I go ahead and I start zoning. So I'm not really particular about how I'm zoning this. It could be all sizes, shapes. I don't really care too much. I kind of actually want a variety of different things. I also wanted this to spread. I have the things on the ends and they need the electric, and I did have quite a demand on both commercial and residential. It was about midway, so I knew it would fill out quite well. So looking on the map, I didn't have a large...
Yeah. No.
Of that out towards the ocean there, and the tuna was deep, fast rushing water. So we didn't have a great deal of that, but I do manipulate it a little bit, and I do gain a little bit more blue, and I do make it to get to 100%. So that's what was important to me, so I got that. But you do have to take a lot of time, and you have to kind of wait for the water to kind of run and level out before you can see the results. So next we just start running the route. The yellow was quite easy. We had plenty of space for that. The blue, I definitely had to zigzag a lot. So I had to go in, out, in, out. I did run it straight here, but I did have to go back and zigzag it in and out. So here we got the last of our assets, and it's the Seaweed Farm. And yeah, as I got these farms, I kind of moved them up towards the self-sufficient area. It was just easier to do. A lot of the boats, really the only water up here is salmon, so I really didn't want to bring the fishing boats up this way. But as far as the farms go, this is fine. So I did move all the farms way up into the self-sufficient area. So here we are at the end of the episode, and if you've lasted this long, I really appreciate it. I know I sound really bad, and I think my AC came on a couple of times. My dog cried a couple of times, and I just do not have the strength to keep going. So I left that in. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. It did take quite a while to do. It's a very long process because I think you have to hit 2 million to get to like 2 million fish collected to get to open up more, and then I think it's like 3.5 million to open up the next one or the last one, and so it took quite a while. So I kind of fiddled around with the city a little bit, looked around, thought about next episode. I think next episode we're gonna attempt to do ore. I'd really like to get ore going, so this way we can get all our unique factories coming in. Probably have to add some residential and a commercial to get to the ore, but I think I'll do that in high density off to the side where the ore is. That's all something that we could think about, look at, and go from there. And I hope you enjoyed. So until next time, thank you again for all sticking around and watching. And if you like my content, click the like button, subscribe, comment, share. I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.